Welcome to this explainer, where we are going to unpack the massive, industry-wide shift from traditional paper-based testing to modern online assessment systems. Now, before we really get into the nuts and bolts of how this works, I want you to just think back for a second to your own university days. You know that sheer anxiety of waiting weeks, sometimes literally an entire month, just to get a midterm grade back? Or picture the professor lugging around that comically large canvas bag stuffed with hundreds of blue exam booklets. Globally, countless hours of potential teaching and mentoring time are completely incinerated every single year by the slow, manual process of grading. Today, we're going to break down how universities are finally breaking out of that cycle. We are moving away from those massive stacks of paper and toward highly streamlined digital platforms. We'll explore exactly what that means, how it works, and why it's permanently changing the educational landscape.
So, are traditional paper exams totally obsolete? I know it's a bold question, but let's really think about the reality of the old system for a moment. The traditional method is, frankly, a logistical nightmare. Just imagine being a university administrator tasked with organizing final exam week for 30,000 students. You have to rent out massive gymnasiums, print tens of thousands of secure exam packets, hire physical proctors for every single room, and then somehow orchestrate the collection and secure storage of all that paper. It's an incredibly fragile system. It takes an immense amount of time, money, and resources, not to mention the environmental toll. As we transition into the details today, just keep that stressed, overwhelmed administrator in the back of your mind. Because the digital alternatives we are about to explore offer a dramatic, sweeping liberation from those burdensome, outdated methods.
Okay, here's our quick roadmap for today. Number 1, the digital shift. Number 2, types of online exams. Number 3, top benefits for universities. Number 4, selection criteria. And finally, number 5, the Qorrect advantage. Let's dive right into Section 1, the digital shift. Listen, when we talk about an online examination system, it's absolutely crucial to understand that we aren't just talking about a basic website with a few multiple-choice questions slapped on it. No, we're talking about a comprehensive, end-to-end digital platform that manages the entire life cycle of an exam. Think of it like a central command center for educators. First, it allows for the dynamic creation of the test itself, drawing from vast, randomized digital question banks. Then it handles the administration, allowing a professor to literally click a single button and instantly launch a highly secure exam to thousands of students simultaneously, no matter where they're sitting. And finally, it instantly corrects those exams over the internet. It takes this deeply fragmented process that used to span across copy rooms, lecture halls, and professors' living rooms and centralizes the whole shebang into one unified, incredibly fast digital space. Let's contrast these two worlds, because the shift here is truly night and day. Imagine trading the agonizing task of deciphering hundreds of pages of illegible, panicked handwriting for a clean, instant automated dashboard. That's exactly the reality of moving from traditional paper exams to online test platforms. With the old way, manual grading creates a massive bottleneck for everyone. But with the new way, automated grading delivers instant feedback. And you know, that real-time evaluation fundamentally changes a student's learning trajectory. Instead of finding out they failed a core concept 3 weeks after the fact when the class has already moved on, students understand their performance instantly and can course correct right then and there. Plus, these platforms easily support much more diverse and complex question formats. We're talking interactive hotspot questions, audio responses, complex essays. It makes the assessment itself far richer than filling in bubbles on a standard Scantron sheet. Moving right along to Section 2, types of online exams.
A major reason this technology is taking over is because it isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It's a highly versatile toolbox. Consider the sheer adaptability of these different testing modes. First up, you have remote systems, which are an absolute lifeline for modern distance learning programs or, say, unexpected campus closures. Then you have center-based systems, which are perfect for on-campus computer labs where you want absolute environmental control. Hybrid systems mix the two seamlessly. Imagine a modern university dealing with a sudden snowstorm. They can pivot from a center-based test to a remote one overnight without missing a beat. You also have tightly proctored systems designed to guarantee integrity for high-stakes final exams, running right alongside open book systems designed to test a student's ability to synthesize information rather than just memorize it. This kind of flexibility ensures that the technology bends to fit the curriculum, not the other way around.
Which brings us to Section 3, top benefits for universities.
When you bring all of this technology together, these benefits act as a compounding superpower for educators. Seriously, it isn't just about saving a few hours on a Sunday afternoon. It's about fundamentally reallocating a university's most valuable resources.
By gaining immense time efficiency and entirely removing grading bottlenecks through automated grading, professors are suddenly freed up to actually focus on what they do best, teaching and one-on-one student mentorship. At the same time, the institution gains enhanced security and integrity, pretty much eliminating the risk of lost test papers or compromised exam packets. Add in accessibility for students who might need accommodations, like screen readers or extra time, and suddenly the playing field is a lot more level. But for me, the real crown jewel here is the advanced analytics. Professors aren't just getting a final score anymore. They get granular data showing exactly which concepts the entire class struggled with, allowing them to refine their teaching strategies in real time. It's a total game changer.
Now, Section 4, Selection Criteria.
If you're a university administrator tasked with upgrading your campus, this is essentially your holy grail buyer's checklist. Every system you evaluate absolutely must hit these 7 marks. Number 1, it must have a user-friendly interface. If the platform is too complicated, professors simply won't adopt it. End of story. 2, it needs rock-solid security to protect academic integrity. 3, immense scalability so the system doesn't just crash during finals week when 10,000 students log in at the exact same second. 4, it needs to seamlessly integrate with your existing learning management system, or LMS. That integration is crucial because it prevents massive administrative headaches by syncing student rosters and gradebooks automatically. Add in the necessity for real-time analytics to spot struggling students early, robust technical support for troubleshooting, and proven cost-effectiveness, and you've got a roadmap to choosing a platform that genuinely enhances assessment quality while deeply protecting the university's budget.
And that leads us perfectly into Section 5, the Qorrect advantage.
So, looking at the source material, a prime example of a platform that perfectly aligns with that buyer's checklist we just talked about is Qorrect. This system acts as a scalable, all-in-one solution that essentially eliminates the need for messy workarounds. It features that seamless LMS integration, so test creation, management, and grading flow perfectly into a university's existing digital infrastructure. It supports a massive variety of assessment types, meaning it's just as effective for a quick 5-question weekly quiz in a literature class as it is for a 3-hour, high-stakes medical licensing exam. It brings high-level security and anti-cheating mechanisms right out of the box, and it generates data-driven analytics to give educators those deep insights into student performance trends. What makes a solution like this so critical is that it handles incredibly large volumes of students simultaneously while keeping the administrative workload as close to zero as technologically possible.
But taking in all of this efficiency and scale brings us to the elephant in the room: test integrity. When you transition away from a physical exam hall with proctors walking up and down the aisles, eagle-eyeing every movement, fear naturally creeps in. It's a totally valid question. Is a fully digital, online exam system actually secure and reliable? Well, the answer is a massive, resounding yes, and the way they achieve this is actually fascinating. Modern platforms approach security by essentially creating a digital vault around the student. The moment the exam begins, they utilize what's called a lockdown browser. To put it simply, a lockdown browser completely takes over the student's computer. It restricts them from opening other web tabs, accessing their local files, using keyboard shortcuts, or opening any secondary applications. They are literally sealed into the test environment. Underneath all that, the platforms use heavy data encryption to ensure the test questions can't be intercepted or leaked. Many also feature advanced proctoring capabilities, using the student's own webcam to monitor for unauthorized devices or secondary people in the room. This layered ecosystem of control effectively prevents cheating, ensuring that the digital exam is often much more secure than a crowded, chaotic lecture hall ever was.
Okay, so security is covered. But beyond security, there's the very human element of education, right? Flexibility. Life happens. What happens when a student has a legitimate medical emergency, a technical failure, or simply needs an authorized makeup test? Can a student actually easily retake a digital exam if needed?
This is honestly where the technology really shines, because it's designed to empower educators, not restrict them with rigid, unbending rules. The platforms allow for highly flexible scheduling and incredibly granular options for retakes, but only if configured and permitted by the professor. An instructor can easily dive into the settings and grant to a specific student a second attempt, extend the time limit for someone requiring an accommodation, or open a special makeup window for a single individual without disrupting the rest of the class data. The power to be flexible, compassionate, and accommodating remains entirely in the hands of the educators themselves.
We have unpacked an incredible transformation today in this explainer. We've seen how the slow, burdensome paper exams of the past are actively being replaced by incredibly adaptable, secure, and data-driven digital ecosystems.
Those heavy administrative workloads and weeks of manual grading, they're no longer a necessary evil of higher education. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a much deeper thought to consider. When we finally stop spending all of our time and energy measuring students with slow, outdated logistical nightmares, what becomes possible? What happens to the quality of education itself when we start evaluating learning instantly at the speed of thought? That is the true promise of digital assessments.